everyone, and welcome to our 2021 review of the PlayNick Lemuria mouthpiece. Now, this is a saxophone mouthpiece, and as no one really wants to hear me play the saxophone, I brought in a special guest. So I'd like to introduce you all to Tae Ho Hwang. Tae Ho is a friend of mine from the Peabody Conservatory, where we both attended for grad school, and is now a professional saxophonist, classical saxophonist, specifically on the East Coast. It's due to his work as a classical saxophone musician that I thought he would be the perfect candidate to record and review this mouthpiece for everyone. So definitely stay tuned for some recordings, and let's get down to it.
Real quick before we get into the playing samples, here's just a little bit of background information on the Lemuria. On Silversign's website, they describe it as being for the classical symphonic literature. Soft, smooth, a warm sound character for classical ensembles and symphonic. The PlayNick website echoes a similar sentiment, but also adding that it could play double duty as a jazz pop mouthpiece with the right reed. Other than that, we don't get too much information. It's made out of natural hard rubber, it has a classical concert facing, it's pitched to 443, and it works with both ambi-poly classic and jazz reeds. I do wish a few more details were given, like the tip opening / facing length, and maybe a suggested reed strength range, but maybe those details will be added later. Now, as Tae puts his instrument together, here's how the recording will work. He will play a lyrical and technical excerpt on both the Lemuria mouthpiece and his standard Selmer S90 mouthpiece. The lyrical excerpts will come first, followed by the technical, and then he will wrap it up by playing a chromatic scale on the Lemuria, just so you can get a general sense of its tuning tendencies. With that being said, enjoy.
Hey man, thanks for coming. You sounded great. It was awesome to hear you play, but let's get into details a little bit more. So what's your normal setup, and how would you feel that the PlayNick Lemuria kind of compares to that?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, first of all. It's an honor to play.
I don't know about honor, but thanks.
It's an honor, yes, it's quite an honor. So I normally play on the S90 Selmer 190 facing. And so compared to that, the PlayNick mouthpiece is a lot darker, I would say. It requires a lot more air, it's much more resistant compared to the S90. And actually, in fact, this recording I used a 3 Van Doren reed for the PlayNick mouthpiece, when I normally use a 3.5 blue box Van Doren reed for the S90.
Oh, interesting. Okay, pretty cool. Cool. Okay, and just for the curious viewers at home, what's the rest of your setup? What's your sax, ligature, all that good stuff?
Sure, so I play, of course, on the Selmer S90 190 mouthpiece. The ligature that I use is Ishimori. I use the rose gold, that's what they call it, yeah, rose gold. And then the saxophone I use is a Selmer Series 2. So keep it consistent with the Selmer.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so basically you characterize the sound as being darker in general, but how would you characterize maybe the change in articulation and response? Is there a big shift there as well?
It's interesting. I wouldn't say one is better or worse than the other. So I've had this mouthpiece for about 3 or 4 days to practice on, and during this time, I was kind of guilty actually. I was just practicing on this mouthpiece and didn't go back to my old setup. So when I was doing this recording, I noticed that when I went back to my S90 mouthpiece, the sound was a lot brighter.
I see.
It was much brighter, and I didn't feel like the articulation was as clear with the S90 as it was.
Oh, really? So you feel like the PlayNick's a little more clear in the articulation?
Yeah. And I think maybe it has to do with the articulation or with the resistance maybe, but it just felt more comfortable.
All right, so ultimately, who do you think this mouthpiece is for? Who would really get the most benefit out of this mouthpiece?
I think this mouthpiece is best tailored for musicians that are, and I would say professionals, in a chamber group setting, or in a ensemble, like symphonic band or orchestra setting. I think this is a really good mouthpiece to blend your sound with other instruments, because it has that cleanliness, that clear articulation that you can sort of match with other instruments.
Really strong, fundamental, round sound, like that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, when I first played it, I fell in love with the fundamental, the core sound that it produced, especially right in the middle register of the instrument. And with that sound, I thought, this could go really well in ensembles and chambers.
Yeah, it's really cool to hear that PlayNick, kind of keeps its, I guess you'd say, ethos, no matter what kind of mouthpiece they're creating. Because, in the clarinet world, it's very similar that the mouthpiece creates a very round, blendable, really dark sound, and that's kind of their signature sound. So it sounds like the saxophone definitely has the same. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to review this mouthpiece. I know I could not have done it. And I just want to quickly say that this was not a sponsored video at all, but thank you so much to Silversign Works for sending out this mouthpiece for the sole purposes of doing this review. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all for Tae, please let us know down in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer them. And to anyone worried, I will still be making clarinet content, but if you would like to see more content with Tae, maybe some more reviews, more saxophone stuff, definitely let us know. Yeah, Tae's excited about it. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and happy practicing.